What's up, everybody? Jay Pounds here with Dynasty Owner. We got another weekly video for you guys this week. I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet for you. I know the last one was a little long, uh, but that being said, it takes a little bit to cover basically every Dynasty Owner relevant player in an entire division. Uh, you know, it, I like to ramble a little bit. I'm sure you guys have noticed as you've watched more of my videos, but it is what it is, guys. I like to talk a little bit. I love football. We got football coming so soon. I cannot wait. August 5th, 8 p.m. Cowboys, Steelers, Hall of Fame game. Oh, man, I can't wait. I wish I could get tickets to it. They're very, very pricey, and I'm not paying that for a preseason game. Not happening. Uh, if you guys are a new user, just catching this video for some reason, make sure you guys check out the website, dynastyowner.com. You see my Twitter handle and Dynasty Owner Twitter handle down there in the bottom. Feel free to hit us up at any point in time. We will always be glad to help you out. You'll see videos from Steve and Matt as well. They are great guys. They'll be glad to help you out as well. Um, basically just feel free to communicate a little bit if you need to. That being said, make sure you guys hit the like button, the subscribe button, and turn that notification bell on. That way you know every time we put a Dynasty Owner video out. Because let's face it, we're a special platform. We're the only ones that use real contracts. We have an actual salary cap. That works with the NFL's salary cap. You're not going to find another one like this, and it's just something you got to kind of keep up on to be good at. I've found contracts are hard to manage. Dynasty Owner does an excellent job of making it easy and simple, but there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, and like I said, you got to stay on your game to win that chase for the ring. That being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it because it's a little bit of a longer video. As you guys seen, last week's article was pretty lengthy, but that's just because you got to cover every relevant player in the division. I'm enjoying doing it because it's given me a look into some guys I probably wouldn't look into at most point in times in the off season, but now I am because I'm covering all of them, so I have to. But like I said, the guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. Going to share my article real quick. I should have did that beforehand. Bam. There we go. That was easy. Whoops, turned it off. All right, guys. We're going to do the AFC West today. Buy, sell, hold. As you guys seen last week, it was the AFC North. And before we get started, make sure you guys check out Steve and Matt's videos too. And make sure you guys are hitting the like button on them. Obviously, if you've already subscribed, you're going to be subscribed watching their videos too. But just make sure you guys are liking the videos. It helps out Dynasty Owner quite a bit. And make sure you guys are telling friends about Dynasty Owner as well. It's a great platform. I know you guys are enjoying it if you're watching the videos and stuff. So make sure you guys are telling some friends about it and just spread the good word, man. Do the good deed. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. We got the buy for the Kansas City Chiefs. We got Patty Mahomes, 10 years, $45 million a year. I don't need to say a whole lot about Patrick Mahomes. You guys already know who he is. You guys know what he's about. You guys know he's getting better every year. He's only been in the league a few years, and he has just set it on fire since he's took over for Alex Smith in Kansas City. I know 10 years, $45 million seems like a lot to pay as a rebuilding owner, but it's not. Within 3 years, by the time your team's ready to go, he's going to be a decent value. $60 million contracts are not far away. They're coming. As you've seen, Dak Prescott just got 40. So it's going to happen. It won't be long till it happens. The cap's supposed to spike next year, and that'll make Patrick Mahomes a tremendous value, in my opinion. After Mahomes, we got CEH. And the fantasy community is a little low on CEH, in my professional opinion. No, I like CEH going into this year. He wasn't the most efficient person in the world last year, player in the world last year, but he did have 1,100 scrimmage yards, missed 4 games because of injury, dealt with Le'Veon Bell getting signed in the middle of the year. What do you think that did to a rookie's confidence? I didn't like it. He wasn't playing horrible. They weren't using him enough, in my opinion. for him to even get going. And they didn't use him in the passing game, and that's kind of what we all thought he was going to be coming out. He was an excellent pass catching back, and we just envisioned a Brian Westbrook type role, and it just didn't really happen. I'm hoping a full off season with the Kansas City Chiefs will get him kind of more fine tuned in the offense, and it'll get him going in the passing game in turn. Once he gets going in the passing game, I think the rest of his game is gonna open up a little bit, and I think you'll see what they drafted him for here in 2021. After CEH, we got Byron Pringle, 1 year, $2.1 million. Wow, they're paying him $2.1 million. That's insane. Byron Pringle had the Kansas City number 2 wide receiver spot is absolutely wide open this year. It can be any one of these guys. It can be Pringle. It'll be the next guy you see. I think there's 5 guys in the running for the number 2 spot, so it's completely wide open. Mecole Hardman is the favorite, but I do like Byron Pringle. He's been a solid pro. Let's put it that way. And if you can get him, I know this is a buy. Yes, this is a buy, but some of these guys you want to buy and flip later in the year, right? Byron Pringle is just that. If you pick him up now, he's probably a free agent. I should have looked at his free agent percentage before I did the video, but I just didn't think about it as I was writing the article. He's probably a free agent. If he's not going to cost you anything to get. And if he does turn out to be the number 2 wide receiver, you can probably get a second round pick for him. So why not take a flyer on a guy like Byron Pringle? Basically what I'm doing here is I'm picking the 2 I think that's going to win the number 2 job, and I'm going to go after those 2. Because like I said, you'll see here in a minute, there's a couple more, and then I got one of them in the hold. Like Mecole Hardman, 2 years, $1.2 million. Like I said before, he's the front runner. It's Mecole Hardman's job to lose, essentially. But that being said, one of these other guys could have no problem, overtaking him. He hasn't necessarily done anything on the NFL field right yet. Been in the league 2 years. He's had to beat out Sammy Watkins, guys. Sammy Watkins. And he just couldn't do it. That being said, sometimes it takes players a little while to mature. But deep down, I just don't believe it's there for Mecole Hardman. I'm just going to come out and say it. I am going to buy him. Don't get me wrong. I don't let my personal feelings stop me from buying anybody, as you guys shouldn't either. But deep down, I just don't see it happening for Hardman. He is, he's basically Tyreek Hill, less version of Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill light. That's why I was looking for the Ron Rivera CMC light quote about Gibson. But he's basically Tyreek Hill light, and I don't know if you want 2 of those guys on the field at all times. You kind of want a possession guy at some point, I would think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with Mecole Hardman. After Hardman, we got Cornell Powell. I'm not a big fan of this guy either. Coming out of Clemson, it took him a long time to get going in college, and usually when that happens, it doesn't translate necessarily well to the NFL. He did have a lot of talent in front of him at Clemson, but in that loaded of an offense, I feel like he should have popped a little bit earlier if he was supposed to. So we'll see with Cornell Powell. Like I said, I'm not all that high on him, but I'm going to do a little bit more research on him. I'm going to check out some preseason, and I'm going to be buying 2 of these guys. After Cornell Powell, we have a long shot, Antonio Callaway. Same thing. He's a Mecole Hardman type player, but he's already done it in the NFL. He had a really good rookie year for the Cleveland Browns, and just got into trouble, got suspended, just has some character concerns. But now he finds himself with a top-notch organization. Let's not forget Cleveland wasn't the Cleveland they are right now when Antonio Callaway was a rookie. It was still a dysfunctional organization, and nobody held Callaway to a standard at that point, in my opinion. I don't think they did. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have been in trouble. But then again, look at Josh Gordon. He's done it everywhere he went. So it's hard telling, But I think Callaway has a shot here. If he stayed in shape, if he's still the Callaway he was, he definitely has a shot here. Man, he could explode in this offense, to be honest. This was a great landing spot for him. We'll see if he sticks. He might not even make the team at this point. But like I said, that's why you got to do some research, and watch some preseason. A lot of these guys you're not going to go out and buy tomorrow, but you will go out and buy them if they have a good preseason, or a good start to the preseason. I'd go buy them before they get too expensive. But that being said, let's go ahead and get into the Chargers. Justin Herbert, 3 years, $6.6 million. I'm sorry if I missed some of these salaries, guys. I'm just trying to get through it, and not bore you guys, and keep the energy up a little bit here. Through it's a little bit of a process, like I said. But excuse me, Justin Herbert. You don't gotta speak much on, or I don't need to speak much on Justin Herbert. His quarterback play showed you all you need to see. I expect him to get better this year. He does have a new coach. We'll see how that affects him. But young quarterbacks are dynasty owner gold. If you can find a way to get Justin Herbert that doesn't completely mortgage your future, I highly suggest you do it. After Herbert, we got Joshua Kelly. 4 years, 913,000. Joshua Kelly looked decent at the beginning of last year. They were using him. The hope or the future was bright. He had a role in the offense, and then he just faded out. And he looks like a long shot at this point, but he's definitely worth a shot. Running backs are slim to none this year. I'm telling you, they get ugly fast. So if you can find somebody cheap that's going to break out later in the year, maybe or not even break out, but give you some type of production, it's worth it. I'm sorry. I said that. Wow, that was a bad take. It doesn't matter if Joshua Kelly produces this year because you are rebuilding. But no, if you're going out and buying them, maybe you're hoping to compete for the playoffs or something as a rebuilding owner for some reason. I like to either just lose bad or win. But, you could buy him and hope he produces this year. But if he does produce this year, it's a good look to his future is what I was meaning to say. You need him to produce this year in order for his future to be bright. If he doesn't produce this year, I don't see him lasting in the NFL. He faded out way, way too quickly for Kalen Ballage last year. After Josh Kelly, we got Larry Roundtree. I read Larry Roundtree. That's a tongue twister. I read his contract for Josh Kelly, so vice versa. Kelly is just 1 million basically, and Larry Roundtree is 913,000 on 4 years, whereas Joshua Kelly has 3 years. Apologize about that. I feel like Roundtree is the replacement for Joshua Kelly, and they're hoping he'll be what they thought Joshua Kelly was. They really needed in between the tackles runner. I don't see him giving it to Eckler or Jackson a whole ton up the middle. They got to have somebody for that. And while I admittedly haven't watched hardly any film on Larry Roundtree, I don't know if he's a power back. I would imagine he is, or they wouldn't have drafted him. But I feel like he's the future power back in LA. I don't see anybody else on the roster that's going to do it aside from maybe Joshua Kelly. We'll see how he handles this offseason. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them too, though. Let's move on. Josh Palmer. It's Arnold Palmer's grandson. He likes his lemonade and iced tea. We got Josh Palmer, 4 years, $1.2 million. He was very underwhelming at Tennessee, but Tennessee didn't exactly have much of an offense. Sorry, Volunteer fans. That being said, they picked up Mike Williams' fifth-year option, but I still think Palmer can be effective in year one. Mike Williams has let the Chargers down time and time again. Yes, he's had a 1,000-yard season. Yes, he's had a 10-touchdown year. But he's also had a lot of injuries. There's a lot of opportunities for one of these guys to maybe even take over Mike Williams. I talk about the third wide receiver spot in the article, but we could see somebody push Mike Williams at this point in his career. I highly doubt it happens, but it is possible. After Palmer, we got Jalen Guyton. 1 year, $500,000. Guyton quietly had a decent year in 2020. He showed some good progress. Possibly earned himself a role moving forward. We will find out this preseason and see how he performs there. like I said, the third wide receiver spot in LA is wide open, possibly the number 2 spot. But let's bank on one of these guys being a number 3 before a number 2. After Jalen Guyton, we got Trey McKitty. I talked about him in an article recently. He is going to be fun to watch, I feel. He is decently athletic. I feel like he has decent hands. He didn't put up crazy numbers in college, but it was just he had a weird college career. Let's take it that way. He ended in Georgia, and they didn't have a great year. Or he didn't have a great year, but it wasn't horrible either. He's a young tight end tied to Justin Herbert. Go after him, guys. For the Raiders, we got Henry Ruggs. He was extremely disappointing as a rookie, and he probably won't cost you anywhere near what he did last year to acquire this year. So I'm saying go out and get Henry Ruggs, guys. There's a chance he's not going to do anything, but he's got the first round capital. They're going to give this kid every chance in the world to succeed. It's a shame. It's a shame his speed didn't pay out in year one. I was really, really looking forward to it. He had some great moments, but we'll see if he can, stay healthy and just kind of show the world why he was drafted number 1 last year. Am I counting on it? No, but it's definitely possible. After Henry Ruggs, we have Darren Waller. Some people might be wondering why Darren Waller is a buy for rebuilding owners. A lot of people don't realize he's only 28 years old. I thought he was older, to be honest. But if I'm going after Darren Waller as a rebuilding owner, I think I'd do it after this season instead of before. Just because he is going to win you weeks big time, and that's not something you really want on your rebuilding roster. He is a buy. If you end up getting a good deal for him, then absolutely take him. No questions asked. Who cares? He's too good to pass up. Heck, you could turn around and probably trade him for more the day after you pick him up. But that being said, I got him as a buy. He's going to be – he should be productive. Possibly the top tight end. Sorry, all you Kyle Pitts lovers. I don't know that he's Darren Waller. He could be. He definitely has the capabilities of being better than Darren Waller, but I got to see it pan out before I talk about all that. I'm a big see it and believe it type of person, and we'll see. I love the prospect of Kyle Pitts, as I think I mentioned it last week, but we'll see. With Darren Waller only being 28, like I said, he's going to be producing when your rebuilding team is ready to compete. And, that's the type of people you love to have on your roster, especially at a difference-making position like tight end, like Waller plays. After Waller, we got Bryan Edwards, 3 years, 1.1 million, sorry. He had so much hype going into last year, and it's starting to somewhat happen again. It's nowhere near what it was last year, but it's happening, guys. If you're going to buy him, I suggest you do it now, before he goes out and has a big preseason game and he costs you a first-round pick because people love Bryan Edwards. Just get him now. That's all I'm going to say on Edwards. If he's going to break out, it's going to be this year. But you want to have him on your roster before he has a good preseason game. Trust me, because the Bryan Edwards truthers are out there, and if one of them has him, it's going to take a ton to get to acquire him. After Edwards, we got Hunter Renfrow, and this is my most questionable decision on the entire article. Why is Hunter Renfrow a buy? And it's simply because Ruggs and Edwards didn't look good last year. If neither one of them are good, Renfrow is going to be solid. If that happens, you trade them. Like I said earlier, you don't, just because you're buying these guys don't mean you have to keep them all year. If you can buy little pieces and flip them for more during the season, that is going to expedite your rebuild substantially. So go ahead and pick up these types of guys. Hunter Renfrow isn't going to cost you anything to pick up, because everybody's talking about Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards and Darren Waller and John Brown and all those guys. So go get him. He's not going to cost you anything in salary. He's not going to cost you anything in the trade. So it hurts nothing. If anything, he can be a solid bench player for the next 5 years. John Gruden seems to love the guy, and I don't see John Gruden leaving the Raiders anytime soon, to be honest. He hasn't been impressive, but I just don't see him leaving. After Renfro, we got Marcus Mariota. 1 year, $3.5 million. He was amazing in relief for Derek Carr last year, and it just seems like the Raiders hate Derek Carr. I said in the article they hate him. The Raiders hate Derek Carr as much as Bruce Arians hates Ronald Jones, and it's almost true. I swear the Raiders would rather have Mariota at quarterback, but they know Carr's better. He just is. He's not a bad quarterback at all. I see people putting, and I'm probably going to get ridiculed for this because people love Baker Mayfield nowadays, but he puts up Baker Mayfield numbers, if not better. He throws 4,000 yards. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, and he throws for a decent amount of touchdowns. It's no different than what Baker Mayfield does. It really isn't. I don't understand the hate on Derek Carr. He's only $25 million. So the Raiders really have a deal with him, but for some reason they just don't want to build around him. They're incompetent and can't build around him, whatever it may be. I don't know. But Marcus Mariota, if he gets a shot this year, let's say Carr goes down for injury for the year, and Mariota gets a shot, it's game over for your trade. Oh, you are going to get so much in a trade for a $3.5 million contract because everybody can fit him into their roster. So you're going to have a bidding war to get a cheap quarterback for the rest of the year that has rushing ability upside. It's a no-brainer. If you can get Mariota cheap and you got $3.5 million to spare, go get him because he could be worth a ton later this year. Excuse me. For the Broncos, we got Javonte Williams. 4 years, $2.2 million. I always try to shy away from running backs at the start of rebuilds. I know I do. But Javonte Williams is like the poster boy for starting to rebuild with the running back position. He's not going to get a massive workload in year one. Possibly won't get a ton of work in year two. He's definitely going to be the main guy, but it just seems like the staff the Broncos have like a two-back system, and I think they're going to get one more year. So there's potential that he doesn't in year two. If they change coaches, it's game over for Javonte Williams. You better have him after year one, or he's just going to be very expensive. After Javonte Williams, we have Jerry Jeudy. 3 years, $3.7 million. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little trade I made. I traded DJ Moore. Tim's gonna kill me for this. I shouldn't even have said anything. Man, I'm surprised I haven't been banned yet. So I traded DJ Moore for Jerry Jeudy. Even up. I probably could have got a third out of it. I think, but that league, I have had a horrible time trading in that league. So as soon as it was offered, I was like, deal. I get to make a trade in this league. Let's do it. I don't care who you want. No, but I love Jerry Jeudy moving forward. I love DJ Moore. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite young wide receivers, but he's about to get expensive next year, and this team's basically rebuilding. I'm doing a very weird strategy with this team. Man, I got something in my throat. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm doing something really, really weird with this team. I'm trying to build it around a couple expensive players and see how it works out just for writing purposes and because it's fun. I ain't even gonna lie. But that being said, I traded DJ Moore for Jerry Jeudy, and I'm very happy with it. If Jerry Jeudy gets a quarterback, this dude's gonna explode. He had a great back half of 2020, and I look forward to that. Or I'm looking for that to continue. After Jerry Jeudy, we got Courtland Sutton. 1 year, $1.7 million. I love Courtland Sutton, and it's real hard to put him as a buy because he's going to get a big deal next year. He wasn't a first-round pick, so he doesn't have that fifth-year option. So if he comes out and balls out this year, he's getting a monster deal. He was looking amazing before his injury. I guarantee you he looks good this year. He's just a freak athlete, and I don't see him back in Denver after this year, which is going to open things up for this person we just talked about, Jerry Jeudy. But it comes with risk. Make sure you have cap room and you can afford to keep him next year if you go out and get him. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you guys. After Cortland Sutton, we got KJ Hamler. Hamler's just a quick little guy he reminds me of Deshaun Jackson. He's got a chance to turn into him, and if you can get him on your roster right now, and then he turns into that, heck yeah, man, you got him cheap. I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. I'm already 25 minutes in. I don't want to bore you guys too much. After Hamler, we got Noah Fant. 2 years, $3.1 million. Young, athletic tight end. Doesn't have a quarterback to be excited about yet, but once he gets one, I think the future's bright for Fant. He's seemingly getting better every year. It takes a while for tight ends. We say this all the time, but I think we're seeing it with Hawkinson and Fant. They were both drafted at the same time, and we're kind of seeing them mature together, and it just kind of speaks to how hard that position is to play. After Fant, we got Albert Okwuegbunam. I said that way wrong. We're going to call him Albert O from now on. He is now Albert O. Don't expect me to try to say that name again. Young tight end. He didn't look bad. He's definitely going to have a steady role in the NFL at some point soon. Just somebody you can stash on your roster right now. For the hold, Kansas City Chiefs, we got Darwin Thompson. I'm not going to spend any time talking about him. I don't even think you should have him on your roster, but there are still some people that believe he will somehow miraculously get a shot and be good. I don't know. Demarcus Robinson, 1 year, $1.1 million. This is the other Chiefs receiver I had as a hold, and it's just because he's a little bit older. He's had enough chances to really cement himself, and he hasn't done it. He hasn't looked that bad ever. I'm not saying that he's a bad player at all, but he's a hold to me. He's not somebody I'm rushing out to buy. That being said, he's not a bad person to have on your roster. Like I said, one of these guys got to win the number 2 wide receiver spot in Kansas City. It has to happen. It just has to. Somebody's got to do it. Why not Demarcus Robinson? Who knows? For the Chargers, we got Justin Jackson. 1 year, $500,000. I got him as a hold simply because he's going to get a new deal next year. We don't know where he's going to be. He was injured a lot last year. He's the same type of back as Eckler, so he's not going to get a ton of work unless Eckler goes down. But he could sign as a free agent next year and get a Tariq Cohen type role somewhere, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, he's definitely a hold. Mike Williams, 1 year, $15.6 million. Man, I should have made him a cut straight up. I don't think he's worth $15 million, guys. If you're a rebuilding owner, find somebody to buy him. I should have put him in sell. I regret that now. No, I'm kidding. He's had a 1,000-yard season. He's had a 10-touchdown season. He's playing with Justin Herbert. He could explode. Hold him until the season starts. Once the season starts, if he explodes, great. You're going to get some great value. If he doesn't, just wait till the end of the year and get rid of him. After Mike Williams, we got the Raiders. The Raiders. Oh, I wish I could talk like Chris Berman. The Raiders. Can't do it. I suck at it. Derek Carr, 2 years, $25 million a year. We talked about him enough in Mariota. With Mariota, I'm not going to cover too much of him. I think he's a solid quarterback. I think the Raiders should be doing much better of a job building around him, but they keep making stupid draft picks and reaching horribly on players instead of trading down and getting a guy 40 to 60 spots later. It seems like it's just, I don't know what in the world Mike Mayak's doing. How did you have a job as a draft analyst draft analyst and do this poor of a drafting job, unless you're just letting John Gruden do whatever he pleases. I don't know. After that, we got the next questionable decision by the Raiders. Kenyon Drake, when you got Josh Jacobs, 2 years, $5.5 million. He's a hold to me. Just, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this landing spot for him. They're obviously going to use him because they're paying him, but I just want to see how they use him before I make any type of decision on Kenyon Drake. He definitely has talent. Last year he showed us he's not going to do it for a full season and be that guy. But he does have potential to be a fantasy relevant player and make an impact on your roster. So we'll see. And when I say impact on your roster, that means you can trade him at some point. After Drake, we got Willie Snead. I don't need to say much about Willie Snead. Just hold him. If you have him for some reason, hold him and see if he makes the roster. He didn't look horrible with Baltimore the last couple of years, so he's probably going to make the roster. But then again, you got Ruggs and Brian Edwards, who were complete bust last year, so it could open up a spot for somebody, if not two spots, And then you got Zay Jones, 1 year, $2.5 million. I'm not going to waste my time talking about Zay Jones when we just talked about Willie Snead. They're the same thing. If you for some reason have Zay Jones on your roster, hold him and see what happens with Ruggs and Brian Edwards. For the Broncos, we got Mike Boone, $1.9 million, 2 years. If you own Mike Boone, just hold him. He's been waiting to get his chance forever now behind Madison and Cook, and now he's behind Gordon, Javante. So we'll see what happens with Boone. Melvin Gordon does have a suspension, so we could see Boone get a chance. Hold him till then, trade him when he does. Tim Patrick, 1 year, $3.3 million. If Cortland Sutton was on, or if Cortland Sutton moved on this year, Tim Patrick would be higher up. That being said, hold Tim Patrick. I know a lot of people still have him. Hold him, because if Cortland Sutton isn't ready to go week 1, you can get some trade value out of Tim Patrick. That's all you're really looking to do with these type of guys. Oops, sorry, I didn't scroll down far enough. But buy, hold, and sell, guys. Buy cheap, sell high. Your sell candidates for the Kansas City Chiefs, we got Darrell Williams. Don't need to say much about him. He's the clear-cut backup for CEH. He didn't impress me a whole lot last year. If you can find somebody to give you a pick for him, then do it. After Darrell Williams, I hate putting these guys on here, but we got Tyreek Hill. I absolutely hate doing this, but he's about to get another big deal. If you're rebuilding, trade him now while you can before he gets that big deal and his value goes down a little bit because he's so expensive. There's always going to be somebody that wants Tyreek. He's that good. Somebody will find a way to get him in their roster, find a way to get some high quality picks for him. After Tyreek Hill, it breaks my heart. Travis Kelce, 5 years, $14 million. By the time you guys are ready to compete, he's still probably going to be, he'll be productive still. Don't get me wrong, it's Travis Kelce, no doubt about it. But you can go out and buy players like Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Darren Waller, when you can get them plus for Travis Kelce. So why not do that when you're rebuilding? That's why I have him as a sell, guys. Austin Eckler for the Chargers, 3 years, $6.1 million. I got Eckler here. He should get you a great, great, great return. Look at his deal, $6.1 million for a top tier running back. And he's not on a rookie deal, but he should be traded like he's on a rookie deal because of this 3 years at $6 million he's got left. It's ridiculous what he's being paid for what he does. Especially if he stays healthy. I'd sell Austin Eckler if I'm rebuilding. They're just starting to rebuild right now, and I make sure I adamantly tell the other owner about his $6 million contract. You're not paying him 12 or 15, it's 6. That just doesn't happen anymore. After Eckler, we got Jared Cook. He catches touchdowns, or when he catches a ball, he falls down basically, and he catches some touchdowns. He is with Herbert. He should be on a contending roster only, like Eric Ebron last week. That's all I got to say on Jared Cook, guys. If you're rebuilding, get rid of him for whatever you can and be happy about it. For the Raiders, we got Josh Jacobs. They signed Kenyon Drake. He's going to eat into his work. He's only got 2 years on his rookie deal. He's getting older. He just doesn't fit into rebuilding plans. So get what you can now for him. I would wait a little bit. It's risky, actually, if you wait. If you wait and you see a 50-50 timeshare with him and Drake, it's going to hurt his value. if you wait and you don't see that type of timeshare with him, it's going to help his value. So it's risky, but do what your gut tells you. We got John Brown after him, or after Jacobs. John Brown, 1 year, 3.7 million. I see him possibly getting the Nelson Aguilar role from last year. If especially like I said, all these Raiders receivers are going to depend on Ruggs and Bryan Edwards. John Brown will for sure be the third guy, probably no matter what. He should have some trade value as long as he comes back healthy. He got banged up at the end of last year, and he's a little older, so we'll see. But definitely sell John Brown if you can. I would, like I said, I'd hold on to him a little bit, actually. Hold him until the season starts and then sell him. He's just going to net more value if he has a good preseason and shows up and has a good game. He'll net more value, but it's also a risk because he could not see the field. Heck, he might not even make the team. So like I said, the decision's on you. It really just depends on your league mates as well. Is anybody willing to trade right now in your league? Is it active right now? It depends on you guys. Got to feel that part out. For the Broncos, we got Drew Lock. 2 years, 1.7 million. If you can find somebody to give you a decent value for Locke, go ahead and get rid of him. Maybe somebody's treating him as a starter still. I see Teddy Bridgewater as a starter, but I think they're going to give it to Locke. If it was me, Bridgewater would be it. But I feel like the Broncos, they drafted Locke. They want to give him another shot. And then once he fails, Bridgewater will step in. But sell both of these guys. If you can find somebody that believes either one of them is a starter and you have them, get rid of them. Bridgewater's at a 1-year deal for $11.5 million. Not a bad deal. Maybe you wait until a quarterback goes down and then trade them. I don't know. But if you find somebody that sees them as a starter, I would move them immediately. After Bridgewater, we got Melvin Gordon, 1 year, $8 million. He's going to be suspended this year. I don't know if people forget about that, but it could be a problem. Javonte Williams could absolutely take over. Mike Boone could show he's got some talent, and it could just be the end of Melvin Gordon in Denver. I'm selling him now. If I had him, I don't. But if I did, I'd be selling him now and getting, the running back. Oh, man, the running back landscape is so ugly right now. You should be able to get a decent amount for Melvin Gordon. But that's all we got this week, guys. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. It helps out tremendously. Don't forget to check out Matt and Steve's articles and videos, dynastyowner.com, Dynasty Owner on YouTube, Dynasty_owner on Twitter, at JPoundsNFL on Twitter. We'll catch you guys next week. Good luck on your 2021 chase for the ring. I'm out.